broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi everyone, we're here at AFTERBUZZ for the ground floor after show. It's our second after show for the show, and we're super excited. And it was a great episode. I'm Carli Garsow, and with me is
Britta Garsow. Hi everyone.
The name of this episode, it's the fourth episode of season 2, is The Breakups. When I first saw the name, I was a little concerned, like, oh no, Jenny and Brody, like, no, my favorite couple. But they were not the ones that broke up. Before we get to the breakups, well, first of all, I hope you all had a great Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, a great December 25th, whatever you did. We did, so
we did.
Happy holidays still. Hope you'll have a great and safe New Year's Eve. But first we want to talk about Jasper McCabe, because he was a big character, and it kind of seems like he's going to be on the show.
It's so funny. Wait, okay, so Jasper is played by, what's his name?
His name is Brett Morin, and if you guys watch Undateable, he's the star of that show.
Undateable's on TBS as well, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's so much crossover between these two shows.
There really, really is. Like Briga Healing. Yeah, she plays both their girlfriends on both shows, and we thought that was really funny. So his character, Brent Morin, is playing Jasper McCabe, and he comes into Mansfield's office and just steals all of his employees.
Well, 4 to be specific.
What?
5 at the end, but 4 at the beginning.
Yeah, 5 to be specific.
Which is a lot for an office.
Yeah, because you don't really ever see all the employees, but you kind of see them around. I thought there was more than
they work on like the top floor, so they're like executive level employees, and so he mentioned that they're all managers. So it was like he did a really bad thing to them, because they could promote within, but apparently, I mean, if they made it all the way to like executive level, they were doing a really good job. So it's going to be hard to come back from that.
Yeah, and I love what Harvard called it a douche rapture, because he just hates everyone that works on the top floor.
It was really funny.
Very funny. But not so funny for Mansfield, and he kind of freaks out and doesn't know what to do because he's losing all of his players, soldiers, as he says. And I really liked Jasper's character, though, because he kind of tells Mansfield, like, you're doing everything wrong, and you haven't updated your techniques as a boss or anything since, like, 30 years, and you need to, which, like, he really is aggressive to his employees, and apparently he makes them work every weekend. So Jasper seems a lot calmer, and he's so young. He said he's born in 1990, and he's running this company.
Yeah, I think there's always like different ways to go about running a business. Obviously, I don't run my own business, so not sure. But I mean, you always see both ends of it. Like people that are really laid back and casual, and then also people that really micromanage and are kind of a stickler. And I think it's just how you work with everyone in general that kind of like makes for success. So I don't think that was very nice of him to be like, you're doing everything wrong, like you're outdated, because he runs his own huge, they're like a financial planner company.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what Brody did, yeah.
Yeah, and so he runs a huge company in San Francisco. Obviously, he's successful, and there's like just different ways to go about doing things. I don't think he needs to be really making enemies.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, if Jasper stays around, do you think him and Brody are going to like hit it off, be best friends? Or do you think that they're not going to?
No, I don't. I think that Jasper, so he's played by Brent. I think Justin on Undateable would be like Brody's BFF. But I also liked that we saw him in this role because it's so different than Justin on Undateable.
It is. Even his hair looked darker. I don't know if the show just hasn't been on for a while, but it looked darker.
On that show, he was really laid back. He wasn't good at running a business. I mean, he owned his own bar, but he wasn't good at sustaining business. And then on this show, he's like head of a corporation. And so I liked seeing like him play 2 different roles. And I think that he's just so aggressive, and Brody is so laid back and friendly that I don't really see them getting along. And I think he's going to miss Mansfield, but it was a twist that he ended up going to work for Jasper because I didn't think he would leave. Like we even mentioned last week that we see him working to the ground floor this whole second season, and then eventually like Mansfield would bring him back. But then they had this huge breakup.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the breakup later.
Okay.
So this is Jasper time. But I love how they harmonize together. They're both so talented at singing. Really good singers. I can't get over it. And
does Briga Hewin sing too?
Yeah, she does because they sing. Because we were just saying how first season of The Ground Floor they went to like karaoke night and they did all that stuff, and you got to hear them sing and it was great. And then they haven't really sang this season except for now briefly. Jasper and Brody kind of sang together when he decided to work for him and when they first met. And I really love that because
I do. They're all so good.
Yeah, they're not like, it's not a Glee type show where it's constant singing, but it's just like a little here and there, and it's perfect.
I mean, he started off in Pitch Perfect, so people liked him in that role so much that I think he kind of has to play like the same character, or people we're kind of lose interest.
Yeah, for sure. So now we can move on to breakup number 1, which Jenny and Harvard's breakup.
See, I saw like the preview, so I knew it was them that broke up. But I mean, it had to be done. He's been pining for her love for so long, and I actually think him and Lindsay would be really cute together. And it's cute that she has a crush on him, and she's becoming my new favorite character.
She really is so funny.
She's so funny, and I just like how she's kind of awkward. She kind of reminds me of like Jessica Day from New Girl meets like. Who's like a smart girl character?
And there's a lot of them.
I'll think of it and mention it later, but
yeah, she's really funny. If you guys like Lindsay, let us know because we're big fans. And I think her and Harvard would just be so hilariously awkward together that it would be perfect. But before she can be with Harvard, Jenny has to break up with him. It was pretty sad.
She gets so nervous.
Yeah,
and feels so bad.
And it was sad because he did not understand what she was doing because they're not dating. But like he thinks that maybe there'd be a chance. So it was sad to watch, but I'm glad that she got out of the way. And I'm actually curious to see what Jenny and Harvard's relationship is going to be at this point forward, like moving forward.
I mean, I just don't think it's basically going to be the same, but he's not going to be making jokes about them being together or at her, like, just waiting on her hand and foot like he did before. I do think obviously him and Lindsay are going to date, or they wouldn't have even brought up that storyline. There would really be no point.
Yeah.
So I think that it'll be different, and maybe Jenny will even miss the attention a little bit because they work together and he's always doing things for her, and I mean obviously it would be a hard adjustment.
Yeah, I mean since season 1 all we've seen of Harvard is his obsession with Jenny because it is an obsession, and so for him to get over that, it's going to be interesting to see for sure and how their dynamic changes and everything.
Yeah. I actually didn't really like Harvard's character in the first season. I thought he was a little annoying. And this season, I think he's more, as weird as it sounds to say, I think he's more normal.
I think he is too.
I think he's more relatable. I mean, I've never seen someone drink half and half out of a cafeteria half and half container. That was weird. But I think as a person, he's more relatable and grown up. Like, I felt like he was just kind of a big kid, like, weird.
Like, he's still weird, for sure.
He's still weird.
But definitely more normal. I agree with that statement.
So I like how they transitioned him into, like, a more adult role.
Yeah, I do too. And please, you guys, if you haven't, go on iTunes and subscribe and give us 5 stars if you like this after show. We'd love to hear from you in the comments on YouTube also.
Yes, please.
So, second breakup is Brody and Mansfield.
This one made me almost tear up a little bit.
Hard to watch.
Heart-wrenching. Because, I mean, we've been talking about how Brody looks up to Mansfield like a father figure, and he even says that, and that's why he wants to stay at the company, because he would feel like he's portraying his dad, basically. But then Mansfield really dug into him, and I mean, I don't think they never had a talk. Like, Brody got back and he just fired him out of rage because he was so upset, but never really explained how his feelings were actually hurt that Brody chose Jenny in Paris over going to Hong Kong with Mansfield and, like, starting this new adventure in their business. And I mean, when Mansfield was explaining it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't think I would ever be able to trust Brody or want him to work for me again. Like, he really relied on him for so much, and I think that Brody seriously let him down, and so to give him another chance would just kind of be almost dumb of Mansfield.
Well, see, this is how I look at it, is they had a unique relationship for employer and employee. Like, it was like father and daughter. So I think he could have, father and son. I think he could have easily hired him back on and just not had that relationship. And they could have just been like a normal employee and a boss, like a respectable relationship. But that was his choice, and it was really hard to watch, and he was pretty rude.
He felt bad after, but all the things he said were true, though.
They were true. It was just sad to watch, and I don't really like those moments on like a show. You turn on this 30 minutes to laugh.
I know, it was sad.
I
mean, it's just, I think it's good they had that argument and just got it all out there, and then they both kind of understand each other more. And now Brody is going to work for Jasper, so I mean, they're both kind of just taking new steps in their lives. Like, Mansfield's gonna have to build a whole new management personnel, and then Brody's working for a brand new company, so we're really gonna see them both in different roles, which is interesting.
Yeah, super different roles. And Mansfield, we talked last week about how, like, he's not our favorite.
No,
but I really liked him this episode.
I did too.
I felt like there was some realness to him, and he kind of just like calmed down instead of screaming everything. And he was just a little real, and I liked seeing that. It was nice because every character deserves some human emotions.
Yeah.
And he got that. Very
Definitely.
emotional.
I really liked him in this episode as well. I think that it's like hard. It's hard to like predict what's gonna happen because I did not see this coming at all.
Yeah,
like,
well, we'll talk about that during
reconcile?
predictions.
I know, but it's like, will they ever reconcile or?
I know. Well, right now we want to wish Renee Goob. We still don't know if that's how you say his last name.
I hope we're saying it right.
But happy birthday, because it's his 35th birthday today, and
35.
He plays three-peat on Ground Floor, and I really love his character, and we were saying he doesn't look 35, so if the audience you're listening to this, you do not look 35. You look great.
Good.
He's very good looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like his character too. I think he's kind of just in there for like comedic relief. He doesn't ever really have like a huge opinion.
No, he has like really short lines.
Yeah.
Really short lines. He doesn't say much. Yeah, he is funny. I like his character a lot. Especially this season. This season so far, if you have watched first season, for us, second season has been way better, and it's only 4 episodes.
We waited forever for it.
Forever, I know. I don't know if
a year, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a really long time for second season, and I love it all so far.
Yeah, me too.
So, do you want to talk about predictions now?
Yes.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of predictions because the whole thing has changed, like Britta said.
Just threw me off.
I know. It was a huge shock that Brody's not going to be working there. And that's the whole point of the show is like Brody, someone from the top floor, dating Jenny, someone from the ground floor. And then the ground floor had a whole new meaning when Brody was working on the ground floor.
And we were saying how much we liked that idea of him working his way back up. And now he's kind of taking a shortcut and has his old job back at a different company.
Yeah, but I think so Brody working for Jasper is going to be more Jasper, and I like Jasper's character, so I'm excited to see where that goes. I think they're going to get along and maybe be friends, because Brody, now that he doesn't have, well, I guess he has a demanding job again, but not as demanding as working for Mansfield. Like, we've seen him hang out with Jenny, but like haven't seen him hang out with friends really.
Yeah,
like Three-Peat says he's always working, like he has to work weekends and during the week. And so just to see him maybe have another friend and hopefully some more singing, going to karaoke night. I hope that they all do
hopefully
that.
Someone has a birthday coming up and they can go out for someone's birthday.
I know, they're like a fun party episode
so
crowd. It's fun to watch.
Okay, so my predictions. I predict that he's not really going to get along with Jasper. I don't know if they'll... and not necessarily not like each other, but I just don't think that they're going to have as close a relationship as he had with Mansfield, and I don't think that I see them really being friends either. So he's just going to be like boss-employee relationship. And I also think that Brody's used to working so hard for Mansfield and being like his number one, like the best of the best at everything, and I think he's kind of going to be treated just like anyone else at this new job, and I don't really think he's going to like it because of that, because he's used to being praised for his good work, and I think that he's just going to kind of have like this new boring job.
See, I disagree with you because Jasper loves Brody, and he said he was number 1 on his list to hire.
He does, but I don't know if I trust him. I think he's a little bit like...
You don't... I don't know. I think it'd be funny if he, like, came in and just tried to steal Jenny.
Yeah, no, I think I can see that happening. I think that's, like, the type of guy he is. Like, why would he take all of Mansfield's men and then go up to him and say, like, you're doing this wrong when there's nothing wrong with his business? He's successful. So I think he's a little cocky and, like...
Yeah, which if you guys watch Undateable, super different than his character on that show. But I agree with you. So I think that would be, like, funny to see them hanging out and then him liking Jenny. Because I could see that, like, that entitlement where he's like, I'm entitled. Like, I like her. I want to date her.
I think so, too.
She's with Brody. And also Harvard and Lindsay.
Yes,
I hope that
definitely.
They get together.
They'll definitely get together.
I laughed, like, so hard. And he's like, I don't know who that is at the end when he's getting a hug. And he just said he didn't know when he just talked to her.
Yeah, it's so sad for Lindsay. She's so great. I love her.
I know. It was so how excited she got when she's like, I'll hook you up with him. That's what friends do.
Yeah.
She's like, no way. So I would love to see them date, especially since Lindsay's new, and then we haven't seen Harvard with anyone besides his obsession with Jenny.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would be really funny. And those are basically my predictions.
Yeah.
Just seeing how the workplace changes with everyone gone. I feel like 3Peat's going to be really busy. And then maybe they'll hire more people. Mm-hmm. So where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Britta_Garsow.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Carli_Garsow. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
And have a happy and safe new year.
Yes, 2015. Woo! Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.